I
We're not hosting.
Audacity.
I got a viewer up.
Got a viewer?
Yeah, my preview screen.
Sick, awesome viewer.
Sure, if that's what you want to call it.
Sick, awesome. Be the real sick boy like Rory Coyle in Defiant Wrestling.
I need to watch it again. I forgot it's on YouTube now.
It is back on YouTube, and I just like a Sunday morning drinking coffee and just chilling. I just slap that shit on, and it's quite relaxing. I like it.
I need to start watching Ring of Honor.
No, you don't.
Oh, okay. Is it trash?
It is quite awful now.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I saw it this morning. I was like, maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah, I watched. I had it on background noise. The pay-per-view last night, and I was like, this is really bad.
Of Ring of Honor. I can't believe it's bad. I thought like Ring of Honor was like the one people went to for like indies.
I mean, it's probably the most notable because it's been around so long at this point, and they're partnered with New Japan. But when they're on their own, it is just so milquetoast and boring.
Gotcha.
You want to watch some goofy shit, watch MLW. That's also on YouTube, and it's an hour.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, I like MLW. It's kind of goofy. like a few weeks ago, low-key stabbed Conan in the back. He shanked him, shivved him.
Conan still does stuff?
Well, I mean, he was kind of in a storyline. He's like, fine, you want this old man to come out of retirement? Fine. It was like a 5-minute no DQ match. He hit Low-Key over the head with a penny bag. A sock with a bunch of pennies in it.
He loves that thing.
And then Low-Key and his group shivved him in the back. I was like, okay.
What did you see that that I'm sure you have by now, that girl that took a tampon out and used it in like a no DQ match?
Yeah, Priscilla Kelly. Good for her.
What the fuck was that?
She tripled her working dates and like quadrupled her Twitter followers in like a single weekend.
I mean, look, it worked. And I will say, I think people are freaking out just because the blood was from between her legs as opposed to like anywhere else on her body. But
well, I'm like, how is that different than like Joey Ryan and his dick lollipop, or I forget the wrestler that pulled a condom out?
Because periods are gross.
Because periods are gross. Oh my god.
Pretty much the only answer to that. Colin, hurry up. I'm gonna fight him in the tank, I swear. Go to JD's channel. There we go. Ooh. What am I looking for? Oh, there.
Let's see. Bloody blah.
Colin.
Colin, you're taking for
Nail. Mind him that I gotta go to bed soon.
It should be a quicker episode since it's flight mission stuff.
How do we feel about flight sims? Fuck them. All right, cool. See you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Comment and subscribe.
Use your Amazon Prime subscription to crack.
We are a Twitch affiliate now, so you can use your Amazon Prime subscription to subscribe. Subscribble.
You can give us like $3 after taxes for free. And by we, I mean JD keeping it all for himself. That selfish prick.
It just goes towards keeping the podcast on Podbean and stuff. Anyways, so.
I just tell all of my family the second I hit affiliate, I was like, "Give me your Prime sub, everyone. I'm gonna bother you every month." Everyone.
You should get it during Black Friday. It's like half off.
No, they're all using they already have Prime. I'm like, yo, give me that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're bugging them for it.
Yeah, none of them are like, "What's a Twitch?" I'm like, me explaining it is gonna take way too long. Just
go to this channel and then put your email address in and then sub.
Does it cost me money? I'm like, no, it gives me free money. How do you get free money? I really don't have time to explain it, but you won't be charged. I'm not giving Amazon any more money. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking fight you. Oh, there he is.
Is he here? Has he arrived?
I heard the
Hello?
ding.
All right.
Oh, and his thing works the first time too. Holy shit!
Fuck.
Hooray.
Oh, I thought we disconnected. I was like, no. I was like, Colin's thing worked the first time.
Discord, what are you doing?
Uh-oh, piss card.
This card's working.
Oh no, come on, Colin. Everything was working.
It just suddenly gave me this screen of fresh invite to voice something or other. Fuck's sakes, let me on here.
Don't worry about it. It's definitely not a thing to get you into some porno website.
Ah.
Alright, we ready to rock and roll? Because I want to do this before I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, we just gotta make sure Colin gives us the word.
Ready, and I've got my notes up. I got the text.
Do you have the correct mic enabled, by the way?
Nope.
I'm still on my phone at the moment.
Okay.
Oh. He's gonna switch over to the real one.
It's gonna have to be my phone for the time being.
Okay, but you're gonna record Audacity with your good mic?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's all I care about. Easy on the breathing into your phone mic, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, damn it, you scared him.
Did I scare him off?
Oh, you son of a bitch. See, you heard it. Oh, god damn it.
Oh, this is a disaster.
It's always don't move, Colin. Don't move.
I fucking dropped my phone, and then my frickin' touch screen is very sensitive and shit like that.
Okay.
I'm sensitive too, but
don't touch your phone in dirty ways. Okay, if we're all ready, we will start, and I'm all set.
Okay, I'm ready. Hold on, nice camera subscribe.
Ready?
Give me the countdown.
3, 2, 1.
Wait,
go.
wait.
What?
Okay, Audacity had a notice up. I wasn't gonna be synced. All right, I'm ready.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Hooray! It is episode 35 of the Red Leaf Retrocast. I'm your host, JD, joined by my two amazing hosts. We got a good stacked episode today. It might be a little bit shorter because of the theme we have chosen, but it is our first real episode of the Retrocast of 2019, the new year, as my cat tries to go on the mic table. Colin, how you doing? You're a host.
I'm doing pretty good. I just got home from work. I just recently switched to a 4-day on, 4-day off schedule.
Oh, that's an interesting way.
Days.
That's interesting.
Sure is. I'm still getting used to it. This is just the second cycle.
That's like oil rig central yet again.
Yeah, pretty much. Better than 2 weeks straight.
Sure.
Or less exhausting.
Well, yeah. It's 12 to 18 hour shifts is never easy. Speaking of never easy, it's never easy having a podcast without our other host, Evan.
Hi, I'm appreciated.
We appreciate you. I appreciate you. Will you go out with me?
I think we should just be friends.
Oh, friend zone already.
Rejected.
Rejected. Quick response. Well, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. New logos and artwork for all the social medias and streaming site for the Red Leaf Retrocast 2019. All thanks to Craig from Mason Craig. If you want artwork done for anything and you like what you see, hit him up on Twitter, twitter.com/MaceandCraig, MaceandCraig. All right. Next form of housekeeping is we ran a contest in November. If you so listen, then you could have subscribed to the YouTube channel, left an iTunes Stitcher review, and a little follow on the Podbean for 4 entries. We had a contest winner for the Retrocast. His name was BCom. It was not you, Kevin. I know you entered.
I know.
He wanted that extra theme pick really bad because that was the little prize to interact with our longstanding audience, because it is our 2-year anniversary, guys. How about that?
Oh, yay. Look at that.
Yay.
Wait for the Retrocast, for the whole, like, band. Oh, God. Oh, jeez, I was not ready for that.
That didn't come across well. Oh, my God. It was like a banshee screaming into us.
Oh, yeah? Ah, shit.
It really spiked to my ears. I was like, what the fuck?
It's like, what happened?
Oh,
Yeah, it would probably sound better if I could go through my snowball, but oh well.
Yeah, well, for the live stream, we apologize, but for the regular, better audio stuff, don't apologize. It probably sounds much better. That'll be fun in post. Anyways, yes, Kevin, to answer your question, the podcast as a whole is 2 years old now.
Yay.
How far we've come. How far have we fallen since the start?
I have a terrible cocaine addiction now.
It's only a cocaine addiction if you can't control the addiction part.
Well, there's the reason I use the word addiction. My family's laughing. I'm just taking this start on all of my head. I take 26 Vicodin a day.
26 Vicodin? How do you swing that? Why don't you share with your buddy JD?
Because they're my Vicodin. That's a felony. I can't share them.
Oh, you're right. I'll just stick to my codeine Tylenol from Canada.
That's the spirit.
All right, back to BCom winning the contest from November. He got to choose today's theme episode, which is Flight Combat Simulation. A theme and games we of the Red Leaf Retrocast, I can honestly say, not too familiar with.
Nope.
How about you, Colin? Did we lose him already? What's your history? Are you quite familiar with the flight simulation games genre, or something you've probably played like one game and that's about it?
I think I played a few here and there. I mean, a couple of the Star Fox games. And...
Speaking of which, how far are we using this word simulation? Because Space Harrier or fucking Afterburner, not exactly a sim.
Well, they're, because of the retro style, they're more combat. I looked it up and looked up the definition. Back in the day, they were as close to simulation as you can get because of the. And we'll get to it more when we get to the games, but the 3D kind of sprites on it's 3D sprites and models on a 2D system, so they had to do a lot of scaling work, and that was the closest you could get to simulation.
80s were weird, man.
Yeah. By today, but you know, when 3D systems finally started coming out, we'll get to one of the games later. That's when the simulation and combat kind of became different subgenres of just flight games. So just combined the theme into combat simulation just to make it easier on it, especially since yeah. But that's what he chose, and for the next couple episodes, he will get all the shoutouts he needs, which is he reps the Nerdum and Other Nonsense podcast. You might have heard him on previous episodes of the Anime Cast, funny enough. as a guest, and maybe some commercials here or there that he supplied. And he's part of the newly formed Anime Radicals, so go check both those podcasts out. They're quite enjoyable. So cool stuff. Yeah. So how you guys been? It's a new year. Haven't spoke to you guys in a while. What's going on?
Ooh, a lot going on my end.
Mm-hmm.
As we saw in the heard in the pre-show, I have switched to a 4-day on, 4-day off schedule with 12-hour shifts.
Right.
And I had a good Christmas. I got the complete Calvin and Hobbes collection as a gift.
That's awesome. I used to love those.
Yeah, I practically read it religiously as a kid, so it's awesome that I get to have every comic in one place.
Yeah, Calvin and Hobbes was huge as a child. I remember, God, was it elementary school and junior high where everybody would read it every morning, or at least in classes that I was part of.
Yeah, it ran for like 7 or 8 years up to 1995.
Yeah,
it was a staple of my childhood.
What about you, Kevin?
It's kind of fun to.
Oh, he's still going.
Oh,
he's still going.
It's kind of fun to read it. It's kind of fun to read it now as an adult because A, the jokes are still just as funny now as they were back then, and B, there are some jokes I didn't even get as a kid that I now fully understand as an adult, and that makes it even funnier.
Like the sexual innuendos?
And not many of those.
Or hints of murder?
What?
Am I not thinking of Calvin and Hobbes anymore?
I think you're thinking of the what's it called? I was gonna say Dudley Boys. It's not it. The Hardy Boys.
You're probably right.
But those weren't even comics.
They weren't? I thought they had a comic.
No. Just jokingly throwing some other comic strip in my life. Kevin, how was your time away from the podcast?
Very nice, quiet. A lot of jiu-jitsu stuff. I got one game for Christmas, which was like sad. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't even know if I'm gonna play it. I got Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
Oh boy, poor thing.
I don't know if I want to play that. I feel like my brother asked what I wanted for Christmas, and I was like, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I was like, wait, do I want to play that? Like,
you fool.
Yeah, I bought myself Smash Brothers. I dabbled in that. I need to turn it back on, but I started Witcher 3. I think I talked about that last time. Still playing it. What else have I been playing? First, Mega Man X3 can suck a dick. I started that, and that is the cheapest, most unfair Mega Man I've ever played. Like, it's just a lot of the enemies spam all over the screen. There's one optional quote-unquote boss, which sometimes you have to fight, depending on how the game feels that day.
Oh, weird.
His name's Bite. He's unfair. If you play X3, play it on the Legacy Collection, because it has a toggle on, toggle off rookie mode, which I used as a checkpoint system. Like, I'm not doing this whole level again and doing this bullshit.
Oh, I feel you. I feel you on that.
Yeah, like, old games are bullshit. Swallow your pride sometimes, you know? So, I don't know. I took me a second to be like, you know what, fuck this. Like,
I've only played X and X2. I've never played past any of them. I've only dabbled at most.
Yeah.
X3
is not the highlight.
I have the X collection.
What's up, Colin?
We did X3. Thought we did X3 for the cast in a previous episode.
Did we?
No.
I don't think so. All right, I'm breaking this out.
Kitty.
Yeah, you heard that?
Yeah.
Cat knocked something down.
We might have done X3, but I didn't like really get into it like I am now, at least. And now I'm really discovering the bullshit once you sit down. But the thing is,
we did do X3. Shit, that shows how much we remember.
It's not memorable, other than the fact that it's kind of bullshitty. But like, the thing is, the game's gone from like too bullshit to too easy now, because I've gotten all the upgrades, and I'm like, I'm invincible, bitch.
Oh, I was thinking of Extreme 2. That's what we covered.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for the Game Boy.
Yeah.
And then what else?
That one kind of sucked.
Yeah, it did. Witcher 3, awesome game. I don't know if I want to dwell on that anymore. Oh, here's one that I want to talk about, just real quick. So me and my buddy were playing Metal Gear Solid 2, right? We beat that, and then we were like, oh, what are we going to play next? And we kind of did a randomizer, and we picked Pac-Man World for PS1. It's a pretty fucking cool game.
It is Pac-Man.
Right.
Pac-Man is fun as long as it's not a 3D game.
It is a 3D game.
No, I mean like the 3D platforming Pac-Man games.
Oh, well, I mean, technically it's 3D. It's a PlayStation game. It's kind of fun.
Hmm.
Cool. I mean, I don't know how the rest of the series went, but like, is it generic? Yeah, but like, it's a solid platformer, man. We're having a lot of fun with it. So worth looking into.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Nothing else but Monster Hunter Generations.
Oh,
Yeah.
naturally.
Look, man, if you've played only World, you're gonna have a rough time. That's all I can say. But man, I still love this game.
That's good to know. Alrighty.
Yeah.
We got a lot to go through, so let's move on to we have 2 topics today to go through.
Ooh.
And then we got our theme. So I'm gonna play this nice little drop. My
You're a
cat
drop.
lays on the mic table. He's bad tonight.
You're a
We'll move on. Okay. So we got a lot of news that I thought would be interesting to discuss. And
I got news.
you got news?
I farted.
Well, I mean, I can smell it from over the mic. Got smell-o-vision over here. All right.
I mean, your cat's in your face probably farted on you.
Well, he's got litter on his nose. I can look at it right now. He's bad.
There you go.
Alrighty, so Celeste is releasing free DLC soon. They tried to get it out for their 1-year anniversary. Didn't get it done in time, but it is going to be free. It's covering the farewell levels will be, as promised, hard, quote unquote, after the current hardest levels in difficulty by Torsen clarified. So that's going to be a nightmare.
There is.
There will be new items and game mechanics, but no strawberries. And to reiterate, all of this will be free on all platforms. Quote, it's all one continuous chapter, no B-side. End quote.
Hey.
I'm really excited for that. I love Celeste.
Yeah, me too. It looks really cool.
Yeah,
The fact that it's free is added bonus.
free means good for the gamers.
Mm.
Hell yeah.
Kevin, why don't you read the next piece of news?
Your next piece of news. Let me pull it up because I had it minimized from Audacity. Next piece of news. Oh, I gotta scroll. You had me off guard. Look what you've done.
It's after the Celeste
Ooh.
DLC and under
You're
topic
after
1.
the Celeste. I just saw out of order. I hit a button. Oh, things are done. Oh, the Resident Evil 2 remake hits January 11th. That's old date, JD.
It is.
Okay, actually, I do want to say something about this. All right, first let me read it, I guess. You get one shot to beat the game, and it only lasts a half hour. So whether you die or the time expires, demo's over, but it's the full game technically, right?
No. Well, I mean, they released the full game, but you have that set amount of time, and then you're done.
Right, so here's the thing I want to say about this.
But it throws you into just a small piece of the game.
Oh, it's not the full game.
No,
'Cause I've seen people talk about it like, no, it's the full game from the beginning, or no, it's just right from the police station.
Yeah. It starts you right at the
essentially-
police station.
But after that, it's supposedly the full game, but you only have a half hour to beat it, right?
Right, so you can try and speed run it if you want.
So here's the thing: everyone I've seen playing this demo is like a Resident Evil 2 like diehard,
Sure.
and they can speed run the game like no issue. So like I've seen people who've beat this demo and they're like, oh, I beat Resident Evil 2, can't wait for the real game. Like clearly you don't need this. Like you've experienced everything you need to at this point. Like
I see what you're saying.
I don't know. I mean, I get people like Resident Evil, they do what they want, but I'm just like, why? Why did you ruin that for yourself? Wouldn't you want to explore it? I guess that's why you would buy it, is explore it and like really see like what they've changed. But I'm not buying that fucking game anyway because I hate Resident Evil 2. I said it.
Oh.
I don't like the old Resident Evils. I don't like the bullshit politics. The game doesn't make any sense. It's obscure for obscurity's sake. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed a lot of that with Resident Evil 3.
Yeah,
And they fixed quite a lot of that from 2, but I don't know, 2's way of telling the story and the spookiness of it all, I really enjoy. It's still my Resident Evil 7 VR. No, that was too scary. Resident Evil 2 is my favorite.
I feel like the series didn't really. I mean, I know it's old and it didn't age well, but like I feel like the series to me is like irrelevant before 4.
Well, have you played the demo?
I have no interest, honestly.
Or you watched it? Colin, did you?
I didn't. I wasn't even aware it was available.
Oh, good. This is why we're here.
Yeah. I didn't even play the original Resident Evil remake because I was like, I don't want to do this.
I did. On the GameCube.
Is it much better than like the original Resident Evil?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the way to play. Maybe I will give it a shot. I don't know.
I have Resident Evil remake on the Wii with the Wii controls. It makes the game so much easier.
Really? How?
Because you just point at the zombie's head all the time. And it's like a one-shot kill system. It's
a lot of sense.
yeah. It's like enabling the rocket launcher cheat code at the start of the game. It's that easy.
Oh, okay then. I still think Evil Within is the perfect horror game, but so far, I haven't played many.
Oh my God, there's someone from my old biology class talking in the Twitch chat. In high school?
Yeah.
Or is it Germany? I don't know. I had 2 biology classes in high school.
Oh, hi, Brandon.
Oh, freshman year. That
Hello,
would be
friend.
college.
Hello, friend. You're halting our news, you dick.
I mean, I'm blushing on camera here.
I know. I'm watching you from my preview screen.
Well,
fucking nerd.
That took me by surprise. Okay. Okay. So I do remember Laura, actually. So anyways, back to Resident Evil 2 remake. The lighting and atmosphere I thought were really on point in the remake. The zombies are still spooky, scary. Plenty of body horror. I really like it. I'm looking forward to it. Now, I will say I won't buy this game at launch. I'll just, play a little while, and I'll play a little while, and then when the game gets a much cheaper, around Halloween season, it'll probably be like half price. I'll get it then.
Capcom loves double dipping, so they'll probably put out like Resident Evil 2 Ada Wong edition, and then they're gonna put out Resident Evil 2 All 3 Heroes edition, and then they're gonna fucking triple double dip. You might as well wait till the final version's out.
Oh, never mind. It's a troll.
Oh,
Love them. Fuck them.
Bummer.
Whatever. Moving on.
Oh man, I did remember Alara from school too. That's disappointing. Live Twitch chat. Oh well.
Boo.
Man, I got all high and then I was shot down low. That's a low blow.
Hey, look, man. If it makes you feel better,
bravo, sir. Bravo.
Bravo. Yeah. All right. Yes. As soon as I saw the second message, I'm like, well, shit. Okay. Colin, what's the third piece of news?
Third piece of news is Bungie splits with Activision, but keeps the rights to Destiny. And to that I say, fuck yes.
Yay, fuck you, Activision.
With extra money is a win in my book.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably mention that I bought Black Ops 4.
Who gives a shit about that?
Yeah, good point.
Black Ops 4 fans?
I played it like twice, and I was like, yeah, this exists.
I haven't played it at all. I just don't care.
I played the blackout mode for a little while, and I got tired of it.
Yep. So what does them splitting from Activision even really do? Doesn't Activision kind of run Destiny?
Well, future Destiny games will be self-published by Bungie, and they're actually going to the split's going to go down immediately, and all the future like DLC and patches and everything will be by Bungie themselves, to my understanding. So I'm wondering if Bungie plans to get rid of like the whole predatory system, but that might be tied into Activision until the game is done. And I'm pretty sure, obviously it's all speculation and theory on my part, but I'm pretty sure Bungie gets so pissed off with the backlash and interference that Activision was doing that they go, "You're ruining our game," and our fans are getting pissed off by the day.
I saw Activision was under investigation for something.
Yeah, I saw a headline that said something about fraud, but I'm not sure about the details.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it right immediately after.
About it.
They're under investigation for something. I just don't remember what it was. Like, I saw some news video. Does that have anything to do with them splitting, or is it just like, hey, fuck you, Activision?
There wasn't a whole lot of specifics on it, so it's just all we can speculate. So,
Nice.
Moving on. Next piece of news is I suggest getting the Epic Games Store app for your PC, assuming you don't have a PC like Collins over here.
Who plays PC games? Better question.
I get
people.
Yeah, lots of people. Kevin, come on.
Fuck them. They're wrong.
Well, I say this because they have a new free game every 2 weeks on their little app, and right now, upon recording, is Edith Finch, a really good game from 2017.
That's not a game.
Sure it is.
That's an interactive DVD menu.
Aw, you suck.
Walking sims are boring as shit. I'm sorry.
It was a nice story, and it made me tear up a bit. Manly tear, but tear up nonetheless.
Boring.
And at the end of the month will be for free. It will be Jackbox Party Pack.
Oh, okay, that one's actually cool. That's good games.
So, they are. It's interesting because this kind of ties into our other piece of news. The Division 2 will be on Epic Game Store, but it will not be on Steam.
Ooh.
So all of this is apparently an effort by Epic Games themselves to slowly become an alternative competitor to Steam. It won't be in the same realm of, say, GOG, aka Good Old Games. But, you know, it's trying to be like a console war for PC storefronts. You know?
But like that's like such a weird thing. Like to have like you're playing on PC, so it's literally just like, what launcher do I want to open? Like, is that really a war? Like it's like, Steam or Epic, which icon do I click on? Oh no.
Well, it sounds like Epic Games might have a more quality control than Steam, which Jim Sterling has been complaining about for years.
Oh yeah. And the reason why developers seem to be bouncing to Epic Games is because their rate is really good. It's they keep 88% of the profits, so Epic gets 12% revenue, while on Steam gets 30% revenue. So there's a massive difference.
Well, until you sell like 10 million copies, and then Steam gives you a break. Because that really helps the indie guy.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's nice in theory, but I'm really. They got one big game. They got Division 2 that's coming to Epic, but like, I don't know.
It's a start.
Maybe just because I'm not in the PC space, but I'm like, do I care if I buy from Steam, Origin, Uplay, Epic? Like,
not really. It's just what you can get for the best price at the time. I mean, it's a competitive market. I think it's good because when the Division 2 news dropped that it wouldn't be on Steam like a couple weeks ago, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder why Division 2 and Ubisoft is doing that. And then when I read more into Epic Games themselves, they're trying to get more competitive into that market of PC storefronts. So I'm interested for tracking it. I mean, I'm definitely going to be paying attention to all the free games they're going to offer. You know?
I mean, free is free, but like, I feel like people are so used to Steam or nothing that like I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna make a huge difference.
I don't know. I mean, I still get a lot of retro PC games on Good Old Games. So
I think that's the best place to get stuff, isn't it? No
I
DIY.
really like Good Old Games. I hardly have issues with them, and their games always work on my PC.
Cool.
It's never a billion things to download, or my NVIDIA
You wanna
driver
know-
isn't like 2 weeks new, and then the next month it's irrelevant again.
You want to know what always works? Consoles. Just throwing it out there.
True, it's very easy.
Also true.
Don't hate me because I speak the truth.
I'm on your side, Kevin.
There's some retro games you can't get on consoles, though.
Mhm.
Like, Jack.
I can do anything if I put my mind to it. It actually
Yeah,
isn't. Jazz Jackrabbit's on GBA.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a Jazz Jackrabbit on GBA. There's also a Commander Keen on Game Boy. Suck my dick.
Yeah, but I played them as kids, so the experience wouldn't be nearly close to the same if I played.
Well, that's your nostalgia. I can't fix that.
Whatever.
Nerd.
Okay.
Alrighty, so our last piece of news, since the console generation of Sony and Xbox seems to be coming to an end, Sony did come out and say, like, basically bragged about how good they're doing, right? But in a little perspective here, Nintendo has sold 22.86 million consoles within its first 2 years, and to put that in perspective, so you know what the number we're talking about is, the PS4 sold about that much as well in its first 2 years, so extremely successful, considering that where the Sony PS4 is right now in its lifetime sales.
Cool.
So to continue that, Sony has now sold 91.6 million PS4s to date, and seems to be trending to pass up the Wii in lifetime sales, which is quite something. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and you can look up these numbers with a simple Google search. And Sony execs also came out with numerous statements about successful growth within the PlayStation, its PlayStation Store, PS Plus, put out more numbers of evidence, as well as their vision by releasing by releasing simple and relatively inexpensive hardware that plays an impressive number of strong exclusives, end quote. And that vision seems to be clear going forward.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We got God of War, just to name an example this year.
Yeah, God of War, Spider-Man, Spooderman.
Spooderman, hell fucking yeah.
Which we got a lot of flack for a Game of the Year cast when Spider-Man didn't make our top 5.
Here's the thing. I love Spider-Man, but that game was like solid, and that was it. Like, it didn't do anything really wrong, but it was like, yeah, God of War exists. There were just way too many things that were like just way better this year, you know?
All right, guys, I have a bathroom emergency, so I'll be right back.
God damn it. You're going to leave me and Colin to run the show?
No, just quick intermission.
No, you can't do this.
Yes, I can.
All right, Colin, what do we do?
We do like Garth on Wayne's World. I'm having a good time.
That's
Not.
exactly what we do.
Eh.
I'm just going to let you handle this because I'm so confused what you're talking about.
It's a Wayne's World reference.
I haven't seen. When's the last time I saw Wayne's World? Fuck, I can't remember now.
Must have been a long time ago if you don't remember that
Dude,
scene.
honestly, I'm not a big movie guy. When I have the chance between like movies or video games, when I get home, I'm gonna pick games every time. You know.
Yeah, my family loves to watch movies, and we always have since I was a kid. We watched Star Wars multiple times.
Well, that's a must go to. You know what's sad? Guess how old I was the cop.
Say what?
Guess how old I was the first time I saw RoboCop.
7?
18. Because
Wait.
finally, I finally gave in. I was like, "Fuck it!" Everyone talks about this movie. I'll watch it.
Oh yeah.
I just
You sound like my brother's wife.
yeah, I don't know. Man. I just movies. I'm like, I don't want to sit still. If I'm gonna be watching something, like I kind of want to like be interacting with it, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, when I was a kid, movies tended to be kind of well, I was difficult to please and yet at the same time easy to please, because if there was an action sequence going on, I was instantly hooked. But if it's just talking, then I'm pretty much asleep.
Yeah, that's why when I watched Goldeneye for the first time, I was like, "Where's the part where James Bond shoots people?"
Yeah,
I
it's
was
the same for me.
Yeah,
With
there's
all
like so much
007
plot
movies.
going on. I'm like, I know this
Yeah,
level from the game.
all the flirting with the women just went right over my head. It was just boring talking at a freaking bar.
Yeah, I remember like the first time I saw like a Bond girl being 6, I was like, "Who's that? I don't care." And now I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" If only I knew better. Speaking of which, Pierce Brosnan, best Bond. I stand by that.
Yeah, I'd say I agree. I mean, though I like Sean Connery as well.
Well, Sean Connery, actually, you know what? Here's a game that you got to try. Play From Russia with Love on Xbox and PS2. It's a third-person Bond game, and Sean Connery does the voice.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we played it when I was working at a game store, and I was like, Sean Connery's actually doing the voice of Bond in this. I'm like, this is weird.
All right, I'm back.
JD, pro tip: play From Russia with Love on PS2 or Xbox.
With Love. I think I have that on the GameCube.
Dude, it's on GameCube too. Sean Connery does the voice of Bond in that game.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
He's the original Bond.
Is he? No, he wasn't the first Bond.
Yeah, it was.
Yes,
Sean Connery?
He was?
Yeah.
Yeah. He played Bond in Dr. No, and that was the very first Bond movie.
No, I thought. Oh man.
Who did you think it was?
My timeline's all screwed up.
Did you think Roger Moore?
Actually, yeah, I think I did.
Roger Moore was the 70s, and Connery was the 60s.
I want the new Bond to be played by Ryan Reynolds.
Ooh, nah, he's too comical for that kind of role.
All right, fine. Chris Pratt.
Same problem.
Tina Fey.
Actually, a female Bond would be pretty cool.
I would want her to be a Bond girl, but like not like your stereotypical like Russian slut, like an actual smart one. You
No,
know?
I'd like to.
Black
I'd like.
Widow.
Oh well, I suppose. All right. Let's just be quiet for a few seconds, and we can get this back going.
Don't tell me how to live. Did you stop Audacity?
No.
Okay, sorry.
Did you?
No.
Okay.
Mine's still going.
All right, so to continue with the numbers here, last but not least, since PlayStation and Nintendo are knocking it out of the park in this console generation, on to Xbox. So as for Xbox, they stopped putting out console sales back in 2015, so that's a bad sign.
Probably smart move.
Well, yeah, they don't want direct number comparisons to show how shitty they're doing. And their execs released a statement earlier this month with no data to back them up. That's important to note. So, for example, just one quote I pulled. During Microsoft's Q3 earnings, we announced that gaming revenue grew 18% year over year, driven by Xbox software and services revenue growth of 24%. And Xbox Live monthly active users grew 1% year over year to 59 million. So that could mean any number of things, from simply money spent on microtransactions, inflation profits, who knows?
If I was an investor, I'd go, those numbers sound positive, yes.
Well, that's basically what they're going at. So any sort of profit that they can say, that's what they'll say, but there's no hard evidence for anything that they're actually putting out there for the public to see, and that's not a very good sign. Now take what Nintendo and Sony have been saying, and even like game developers. You know, there's always hard evidence and statistics to back up what they're saying that they do release. So it's not a good sign when a company just has all these arbitrary things that they're throwing out to the public just to make it sound positive. That's my take on it.
Makes sense.
I mean, Xbox is not doing great now, but they are gonna fucking kill it next gen, I bet.
What makes you say that?
They bought a buttload of developers that are going to be exclusive. Game Pass is the best idea ever, by the way.
Well, Sony's expanding their, I think it's PlayStation View, I think is what it's
PlayStation Now.
PlayStation Now. Right, yeah, View is the TV service, which is okay.
Yeah, that's when they actually allow me to download. Fine.
They do allow you to download now.
Only some games.
Right, so I think in the next generation, I think their PlayStation Now service is going to be like Game Pass to be a little bit more competitive.
Sure, and if they do it, then yeah, I'm all in because I'm a PlayStation guy, but I'm not going to lie, I've wanted to get an Xbox One just to get Game Pass and be like, all right, there we go.
Well, actually, you won't need to get Game Pass or Xbox to get Game Pass because they're expanding the Xbox Microsoft Store, and Game Pass, you can get Game Pass on there. And they're expanding the library of games, so you won't even need an Xbox.
So how am I going to play them?
What do you mean? You just get Game Pass on your computer.
Oh, I don't want to play on my PC.
Then why would you need the Xbox?
Exactly.
I think Xbox is just going to be a brand name soon. Like,
yes,
it's going to be a market. Like they're not. I don't think they're going to have a system beyond the X.
So when after E3, when Xbox announced all those developers that they had purchased to be exclusive to them, we actually talked about it on the Modern Gaming Cast. It's been a little while, so we can reiterate it here because you mentioned that you're confident, Kevin. You're confident that with these new developers that are exclusively theirs, that they're going to make new games and only for them, right?
Well, if they're not going to have a console, then they're only going to be like, you can only play them with Game Pass.
So, if you look at those developers that they bought, there's only 2 of them that didn't already make games exclusive to Xbox.
Yeah.
They bought the Forza guys. Forza's always been Xbox exclusive. They bought the State of Decay company. That was always Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
Wait. They bought the We Happy, and then the 2 that they bought that didn't make exclusives already were the We Happy Few company. We saw how well they did putting out their game.
Play that game. I still want to play it.
Yeah, it's not very good.
I don't care.
And then the only one of note is Ninja Theory.
I just played a game.
And that was a big hit to me because I really enjoy Ninja Theory games.
I wanted to punch him in the face last game I played.
Hellblade?
Nope, Enslaved, Odyssey to the West.
Oh, you don't like Enslaved?
It runs like shit on PS3. I don't know how 360 was, but it runs like ass.
Oh, bummer. I didn't get that.
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know. It was okay.
So,
moving on.
I'm not as confident in Xbox Next Gen as a lot of people are. But I'm with you.
It's sowing the seeds.
But I'm with you with they're heading towards it's just going to be a brand name for Microsoft to use for gaming.
I mean, honestly, look, I love consoles, but really, if we just get one service where it's just like, I don't want game streaming. That idea sucks. It's not like movies. You have to put inputs in. There's going to be lag.
Right.
But I'm all for like, if my PlayStation literally just becomes a box where I pay a subscription, I can play anything, download it, here you go, get that game. Okay, you're done with it, delete it. That is a great future for me. I'm into that.
It doesn't bode well for like retaining history in that sense.
No, I get that, but there are people out there who are hackers and will upload games to Pirate Bay, and people will make sure things are preserved. Like game companies don't want to do it, so people have taken it into their own hands. They'll find a way.
Yeah, I mean, at least we got that backing up. What's your take on the three big consoles in their numbers, Colin?
Hard to say. I mean, I couldn't give two shits either way about Xbox.
Nice.
As far as Nintendo and Nintendo and Sony, they're doing really as well as they are, then good. That bodes well for the future.
It does. And I do like the direction Nintendo and Sony are heading. Nintendo's sticking with what they're good at, and Sony is sticking with what they're good at. I think Xbox, their identity is the online community, and I think that's the direction they're heading.
Speaking of online, Nintendo should really fix theirs.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that.
There was a Review Tech USA video about the whole thing. He's saying Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox's online services are right there.
So
for
actually,
everyone to see.
There's a story about that. So when they were developing the Wii U's online service, they had American engineers come in and say hey, have you looked at Xbox Live and PlayStation Network and see how they do that? And literally the Japanese executives went, "What's Xbox Live?"
Oh no.
Boy.
Yeah, they were like, what is Xbox Live? And the guys were like, "You can't be fucking serious." They're like,
it's your competitor.
they don't consider them competitors.
Oh, that's so bizarre.
They don't consider Sony and Microsoft in Japan. They're just they're not competitors. Especially Xbox. You're like, who's that?
Well, okay, the Xbox, I guess I could, but Sony is Japanese.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's such a Japanese thing to say and do.
There was also it was a satirical article I shared a while ago. It goes, Nintendo reports they haven't got any faxes about complaints about their online service.
They're not no one's dialing our 1-800 number to complain. We must be doing good.
Well, that's because it's a 1-900 number and nobody's paying that toll.
Oh, of course. It's a 1-900. All right.
I don't understand how stupid they are
sometimes. Kind of why I haven't gotten the Nintendo Switch Online yet.
I'm not getting that service. Not until I demand that all those virtual console games that they've put on 2 systems before this are all on that service. There's no reason why they aren't.
Yeah,
I got into a fucking argument with somebody online, like, well, you don't want to fear of oversaturating your marketplace. I'm like, who the fuck's complaining about there's too many NES games on here?
Right?
What the fuck is that? They're like, well, you gotta understand, if you give everyone too much too soon. I'm like, fucking from 30 years ago, dude. Have fun playing the 49th Mahjong game on the eShop then, I guess.
I definitely feel you, Kevin. The games are there. You get Switch Online, so you don't have to pay for each of them individually when they're released. They're adding interesting perks to the games that they are putting on Switch Online. I'll give them that. But I'm with you. Everything's already there for Nintendo. They just choose not to do it.
That library takes less than a gig for the whole NES library. Let's say you can't get the licensing for some games, okay? How long can it literally take to put a flash drive in a server and then put it up? Be like, yeah, it's done. That took me 10 minutes. I can't understand people defending it.
Yeah, I don't get it either, Kevin. Yeah. All right, some happy news then. Let's move on to topic 2.
We happy news, got it.
What?
Alrighty.
I made a pun. Shut up.
All right.
Oh, you're doing a drop. I get it.
Did do a drop.
I didn't know.
Okay. So, topic 2, a little bit shorter, but it's fun to talk about nonetheless. And it's just our favorite games we played in 2018, retro or new. So, Colin, why don't you go first?
Alrighty. My favorites include Celeste, naturally. Dead Cells, just totally solid game. Although I remember one YouTube channel describing the visuals as Christmas light fireworks.
Well, that's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah, it's from this channel, this girlfriend reviews. Basically, should your boyfriend play this or this? It includes Celeste, Witcher 3, Monster Hunter World, and a whole bunch of recent ones.
What's her thought on Dead or Alive beach volleyball? I'm asking for a friend.
She hasn't been around that long yet.
There's a new one.
Ah.
There is a new one.
And also Nier Automata. By the way, 2B top 10 video game asses of all time, #1. Fight me.
All right.
Just a callback to the last cast. But anyway.
Clearly, you haven't played the new Dead or Alive beach volleyball.
Yeah.
Clearly, I have not.
It was banned in America from being too sexy.
Just like how I'm banned in 4 states.
And Batman Arkham Knight is another one.
Oh yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn is another.
Good game. Good game.
Shovel Knight.
Oh, you finally played Shovel Knight. Wow.
Wait, you've never played it?
I did a couple years ago, and then I got sidetracked, and now I properly played it and loved it.
Are you gonna play the spin-off games?
Maybe if I have time.
Vector Knight's really fun. That's really cool.
I'm still playing Papers, Please on my Vita.
Oh, yeah, that came out.
Did.
Yeah.
I killed my family.
Oh, wow.
And another is Metroid Fusion.
Yep.
And for hypotheticals, as in these are ones I didn't play, but I feel I'd enjoy the hell out of, include Spider-Man PS4,
Oh man,
God of War, and Smash Ultimate.
Wow, that hurt me.
Hey man, on a side note, I didn't really play enough of Monster Hunter World to confidently say it's one of my favorites, but it's definitely addicting as hell.
Game of the year.
Damn right it is. Well,
last one is Deltarune. I still haven't gotten around to playing that one.
Oh yeah, it's downloaded on my desktop as well. I need to play
I realized something incredible in the intervening time between this cast and the last one. Deltarune is an anagram of Undertale. I just noticed that.
Is it? Oh.
Gasp.
Gasp. My heart.
It's almost like it was meant to be.
Well, I tried to mix this up a bit between games we covered on the podcast in 2018. What stuck out to me the most, and for the modern ones of last year, it was Monster Hunter World and Celeste. Celeste, I demoed it in January when we just kind of loosely reviewed it for the episode, and then I went back to it and played the whole game, and was like, wow, how foolish was I to only play like a single level.
I heard people call for that to be Game of the Year right when it came out in January.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Yeah, we've spoken so highly of it. New subscriber, that's really nice. Thank you.
Awesome.
Nice.
And then Monster Hunter World, I went into it hoping, I followed it closely, hoping it was going to be the game to get me into the Monster Hunter franchise, and it did just that and more. I was heavily addicted to it. I played through the entire story mode, hunted all the monsters, did all the things. It was super fun. And then for the podcast, the games that stuck out to me the most were Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh yeah.
Capcom vs. SNK 2 from the fighting game episode over the summer. Zelda Link's Awakening. Thank you, Colin.
Hell yeah.
And Sweet Home. Thank you, Kevin.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. I'm thinking of I'm thinking of that walking sim. Sorry. Never mind.
Oh.
I'm thinking of Gone Home. I'm like, I would never recommend that.
So yeah, Super Mario Sunshine. You know, I've only like seen videos, never truly played it myself. Never had a GameCube. I had one friend who had a GameCube, and platformers weren't his thing. So playing it for the podcast and going through that for the first time was just tons of fun. Lives up to its reputation. I like the water gun jetpack mechanic. Capcom versus SNK 2 is probably now my favorite fighting game, even though I suck at it because I suck at those games. But I do have the Japanese version for my Dreamcast, so it's I do have the funny subtitles.
Nice.
I think I
There's
kind of put it
funny
over the
subtitles?
edge. Oh yeah, there's hilarious subtitles, Kevin.
Wait, I think I remember this. Hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah. And then Zelda's Link's Awakening became my favorite portable Zelda game, like easily.
Yay.
I like it even more than Phantom Hourglass and Between Worlds.
Whoa. I feel like people forgot about Link Between Worlds.
Did they?
Yeah.
I mean, like-
I don't hear it being like ever brought up in like best Zeldas or anything. And I know like people were raving about it when it came out, but like seems like it just kind of forgotten about.
oh well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
I suppose.
I don't really hear people talking about it either.
Yeah.
Mhm. So Zelda's Link's Awakening was really nice. I love the music in that game. It's probably my favorite Zelda game's like music of them all. So that's really cool. And then Sweet Home was just a fascinating experience. You know, the origins of this is how Resident Evil came to be. Same director, the inventory management mechanic, trying to keep your entire party alive, otherwise you're screwed. The fact it was on the NES of all things, just roped me in. Right along the lines of how the Mother series roped me in. Remember, Colin, when we played Mother on from the Wii U?
Oh, do I ever?
Yeah, the NES game, but we got it on the Wii U. Anyway, but yeah, same thing along that. So really fun year, interesting year for gaming. And then all the PSVR games I play. It's just such an experience playing PSVR for me, anyways. So Kevin, how about you? What are some of your favorite games of 2018?
I completed quotes 43 games last year, not including. Well, I mostly dabble in games to play for the podcast, and then I'm like, okay, this is go back and play because I have limited time in life.
Sure, we all do.
So things worth noting: Mario Odyssey, worth every bit of hype. That game deserves it. Killzone, just because I love it, but nothing really worth saying. Persona 5. I can't. I always get remembered of the time I almost put Persona 4 down an hour into it, being like, "This is a fucking movie. I don't want to watch this." Like, and man, would I have been so wrong in life if I put that down. Persona 5, probably favorite RPG behind Legend of Dragoon. What else is on here? That's like super notable. Spider-Man on PS1. That was a game that was cool, kid. Now I'm like, game age like shit. However, I still do the one thing every time I play a Spider-Man game is I see if I can choke people out with the webs, because this is like the only Spider-Man game that let you do that, and I love it. Ghost Recon Wildlands, even though it's like it's literally Ubisoft open world, the game.
Sure.
One of the few like games where like I want to do side quests because you got like instant gratification. Overlooked game, I think.
That's a big part. I've noticed since we do the podcast and watching some of your streams, instant gratification from side quests is a major plus with you, Kevin.
Absolutely. I don't want to do a side quest that's just like, oh, learn more about this character. Don't got time for you. Fuck that. Give me silence. Let's go.
If you wanted me to, I am with you on that. If you wanted me to care about this character, it should have been in the main game.
Yeah, like Witcher 3 is like the next game that like I want to do side quests. This world is cool. Let's see what else is on here. Monster Hunter World, fucking, that game is so good. It's the perfect Monster Hunter game. I still have my qualms with it, like pain in the ass. But once you get it to work, it works. Pocket Bomberman, we both played that. That was a fucking lovely little platformer. A little hard, but really, really good. Disappointing game. Octopath Traveler, I wanted that game to be so much more than it was.
It was still really fun.
It was really fun, but the thing is, like, there was no reason people traveling around the world together. Like, they didn't interact really. Like, none of the stories really intertwined. So once I beat it with my main character, I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, there was
So,
only like a little tidbit at the end for a couple of the characters.
Yeah, I didn't really care. Evil Within, like I said, favorite horror game of all time because it's not just stupid puzzles. But it had some very frustrating moments. God of War, that might be the best story-driven game I played this year. Beyond Persona.
And you were disappointed with it?
No. I just disappointing game was Octopath. That was it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, should have made that clear. Here's a game that nobody played really. Maybe you have Vanquish on PS3. You ever play that?
Yes.
I have it.
Awesome. It's Gears of War on steroids. Well, maybe Gears of War is that. It's just like stupid adrenaline action.
That's the one with the crazy like baseball slide. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I really want to talk about,
Gears of War on crack.
It does have that Sega nonsense story and like art style to it.
Of course.
And the president definitely wasn't Hillary Clinton. I'm just saying. But the last game, like, you ever play a game that's really good and then the ending just fucking botches it and it ruins the whole experience for you?
Trying
like
to think.
Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga is that to me.
Oh wow. Is that
because? Well, it's a good game all the way through. Like these are fun, but like you get to the end of the game, right? You go through a little boss rush. Fine, that's easy. You get to the final boss, and like the game's all about like turn-based fighting, but it's active combat. So like if the enemy attacks, you have to jump or use the hammer or do something to counter the enemy, right? So
following
you do that. Yeah, so you do that. But the thing is, like, oh, this enemy, the timing's this with the hammer. The jump is this point. So you have to learn every enemy, right? So
right.
You get to the final boss, and it has 2 stages. I do the first stage, which was already bullshit. But the second stage of the boss fight, you immediately start with 1 HP on each Mario and Luigi. So if you don't know the enemy's pattern, you're gonna die immediately. And then when you die, you have to go back to the first part of the boss fight, which was already stupid hard. So I was like, fuck this. Like, I put in my Retron and I save stated every enemy attack.
Oh boy.
I was like, fuck this. I'm not quitting this game. I'm right here. Normally, I would put a game down when I'm done having fun with it. But I was like, I'm right fucking here. Like, I'm doing this. And I was like, way to ruin the really fucking good game, Nintendo.
I'm trying to think if there's any games I've played where the ending is so super botched. I know I had a lot of trouble with the first Bayonetta and the final boss. That was really difficult for me.
Yeah. That one was rough.
Yeah, because you're in this essentially a volcano and you have to perfect dodge all the attacks, but there's lava everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I had a rough time with that.
Yeah, that was irritating. I eventually got it.
Void is the other one that comes to mind. Played that.
No.
Essentially, the game ends at like the best part of the game. Like right when the game's getting good, it just like ends in the middle of the action scene. You're like, okay, fuck me. Yeah, nobody played it. Don't worry.
The non-Sonic sections of Sonic Adventure.
I mean, yeah, okay, that's fair. You don't like Big the Cat?
I was like, I do not care about this.
I thought you were a man of culture.
Oh, okay. Man, there's a few PSVR games that, because of this, I guess, I don't want to call it a stigma. It seems like a formula where the games have to be 2 to 3 hours long, so they just end so short.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm not interested in VR, because most games seem like, yep, this is like, look at the wacky physics. All right, we're done here, right?
Well, it's a good thing 2018 changed a lot of that for a lot of games that came out.
Astrobot. I want to play that.
It's super adorable.
I want to play that.
Tetris Effect makes me feel like I'm on drugs.
Perfect.
Yeah, Colin, are there any games that botched the ending for you? You can think of?
Not that I can't think of many.
Ooh,
Only
I have
one.
another one. Once Colin's done, sorry.
Oh, Shinobi on the Sega Master System. It just says game over when you beat the game. The same screen
Yeah.
when you die. That was infuriating. It's like that's it. No credits, no nothing. It's just game over, black screen, fuck you.
Valkyria Chronicles fucking botched the ending for me.
How so?
Because I like turn-based strategy games, but I don't think I like them when firearms are involved because the game will go, you have a 98% chance to hit this person. 98% chance with 20 shots. Oh man, you missed all 20 shots. Look at the fuck at that. And I'm like, I'm 2 feet away from this guy. Fuck this. Like, and then the thing is, in Valkyria Chronicles, the final boss will heal himself between turns. So not only did I just botch a 98% chance of hitting this guy somehow at 2 feet away, the game just pretty much says, "Nah, fuck you."
Sounds like
right,
it's sounds like you are very unlucky, Kevin.
Fuck that game.
I had a couple of times like that when I was playing XCOM.
Yeah, it's same kind of gameplay.
Yeah, although XCOM doesn't let you aim.
No, that's the thing that I liked about Valkyria.
Yeah.
Well, fun stuff.
As for botched endings, the only one that kind of comes to mind is the final boss of Wario Blast.
Not familiar.
Basically, Bomberman starring Wario.
Neat.
It also has Bomberman in it.
What?
Yeah, it's just a Bomberman game playing as Wario, and the final boss of it I just could not beat for the life of me as a kid. And it scarred me.
It scarred me.
Yep.
Neato.
Well, alrighty. Fun topic, fun year. I really liked 2018 gaming. I didn't think it was good as 2017, but that's like gonna go down as one of the greatest gaming years of all time. So, truth to that. But anyways, we have a topic or a theme to go over. I'm gonna play this drop.
That's my favorite sound from Metal Gear.
It was not Metal Gear, it was the Sonic theme song.
Well, I guess you can't fucking hear it.
Alright, so we have a 5-star review to read. Colin, why don't you read the 5-star review for us?
Kevin is so handsome. I love him.
No, this comes from Snow Bear Pirate. Subtitle,
Yes.
A Blast from the Past. A great podcast that revisits old anime and video games. It's a critical look at nostalgic properties while also recognizing what made the properties great. There are a wide array of topics for the hosts to discuss on a regular basis, and though you may not agree with all of the opinions stated, there is definitely good banter and jokes abound. I always find myself surprised by some of the shows/video games they look at. Definitely won't regret listening to it. Or exclamation. So you know it's enthusiastic.
Very enthusiastic. Well, thank you, Snowboard Pirates. You're very handsome. Very handsome.
Thank you. Thank you. I just said that I was.
It came from Canada. It was a review from Canada as well.
No, never mind. I wouldn't toxic myself with that.
If you want to leave a 5-star review, head on over to iTunes or Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher's probably the more easier one you can leave a review for. All you need to do is go find the Red Leaf Retrocast, go type in hit a review, and then you just confirm through an email account. You don't have to go through the iTunes app or anything on your PC. But if you want to leave us an iTunes review, please do that, and you'll have your review read on the podcast. There you go. With that being said, onto our theme, guys. It is Flight Combat Simulation, brought to us by our November contest winner in BCom. He got to choose our theme. He was very enthusiastic about and he even got to choose 2 games of his own. Nice little bonus thrown in there.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
So Kevin,
Ooh.
since you didn't get to pick any games for this podcast,
I
and
don't fucking know any.
you were usurped for these choices, why don't you tell us about BCom's first choice?
BCom's first choice. I mean, my first choice. First choice was Star Wars Rogue Squadron for the N64, developed by Factor 5 and LucasArts, also published by LucasArts. Released December 7th, 1998. It was one of the first games to take advantage of the N64's expansion pack. You know, a thing that did nothing ever. It actually allowed the gameplay to be played at a higher resolution. It was crazy. Yeah, you wrote crazy good. I'm going to disagree with you because it's on the N64, so that's wrong.
Oh, well, you're an N64 hater.
You're damn right. It did have well-produced voice acting. It was good. The aim reticle, I found it easy to use, but I don't know. I mean, I hate the N64. What else do I have to say? I just don't like it. I don't like playing things on this thing.
What's worse, the 3DO or the N64 in your eyes?
Well, first of all, the 3DO is not a real system, so the N64 by default.
Ah, you're so harsh.
It's just a really expensive CD player. I don't know why you bought it.
Oh.
It was a decent flight simulator game. I don't know if I want to call it a simulator, but it was nice. There was a lot of them, if I remember right. No, wait, not this one. I'm thinking of Battle for Naboo. That one you can drive a Cadillac. Fuck, we should play Battle for Naboo. Can we redact this? I had fun with it for what it was, but I'm not going to go back to it. I do have the sequel on GameCube, or the sequel on GameCube, and I kind of got inspired to play those after playing this a little bit. And they might be the best looking games on the system, especially the second one. Oof.
Yeah, Rogue Leader was amazing. I played that as a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you guys think about it?
Go ahead, Colin.
I like this one. It definitely shows as a predecessor to Rogue Leader. And I didn't really play that much of this one. It was just kind of off and on.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I had a friend in elementary school. He would quote this game constantly. Every recess, I would hear him say, "Rogue Squadron, this is General Riken."
I would have punched that kid in the face.
I also had a friend like that.
Yeah, I don't need to tell you, he loved his N64.
Well, you definitely would have punched him in the face.
Yeah, I really like this game. It has tight mechanics, shooting's well done, even if there's no targeting reticle, and I like the variety of different fighters you can use. It well and truly captures the feel of Star Wars space battles, which it did even more so in Rogue Leader.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like the attention to detail with certain vehicles. For instance, when you fly the speeders, you can actually see the flaps and ailerons come out when you make turns. And when you go into like the high travel speed mode in the X-Wing, you see the S-foils actually close. So it doesn't really look like an X anymore. But then in battle mode, it goes into...
Mm-hmm.
I'm just rambling at this point.
No, it's good. Yeah, there was a lot of really good attention to detail, for especially considering it was on the N64, which was known for not having a lot of that because everything was freaking rectangles and squares everywhere. Giant polygons.
Yeah. Triangles fucking, yep.
No, yeah, triangles fucking. The N64, the best system for triangles fucking.
Oh boy.
The only thing it was lacking was definitely the photosynthesis in our world. Yeah. You know what had photosynthesis, Kevin? The 3DO.
No, it didn't. Because then it would be good. No, it didn't.
Fucking D-pad.
Your D-pad.
Oh, nice one. All right. I have no comeback for that.
Yeah, so suck it. You know, it was a good N64 game.
What? Go ahead. Throw it at me.
Star Fox 64.
Well, we're not done with talking Star Wars Rogue Squadron, you pan.
We're
I
not
think
done
we're-
yet.
Oh, come on.
All right.
No, I have more to say.
Me
No,
too.
I just want to live my life.
I don't have much.
Good
I don't have
games.
much. I don't have much to say more over Star Wars Rogue Squadron myself. I thought the game was really smooth. The turning was really nice. The mountains would render like right in front of you, pretty close, but even then that was smooth. So the speed of the aircrafts kind of compensated for the lack of rendering at a distance. So that was a nice little touch. The missions I felt didn't feel too repetitive, which was really nice. That's what I was really afraid of going into this theme. That a lot of that all the missions were just going to be go shoot down X amount of enemies, or just like drop a bomb on this base kind of deal. And to an extent, it is that, but how the games would tackle that approach was quite nice. And this was one of those. And if you're a Star Wars fan in general, this would be your shit growing up.
Yeah, for sure.
Switching. Yes. Yeah, well, switching between the crafts was also nice. I felt like each one actually felt different.
Yeah.
You know, the Millennium Falcon was super chunky and slow, as opposed to, say, the X-Wing, which was super fast and it would turn a bit faster kind of deal. So, you know, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I'm not inherently like grasping the game as, say, a normal fan would. But I can appreciate like how much detail and effort was put into this game and how on point a lot of things are, especially the sound effects. LucasArts always seems to knock their games out of the park a lot of the times. Very solid developer.
For sure.
Rest in peace.
Still, there were some moments that made me rage.
Go
For
on.
instance, in the Corellia mission, when you have to use the harpoon and tow cable to trip over the AT-AT, a la Empire Strikes Back. Yes, I'm pronouncing it AT-AT. Bite me.
Don't at me, bro.
Don't at you.
How about you come at me?
Oh,
I will add
shit
at
up.
you.
no one's gonna come on you, Colin. Jeez,
Yeah, gross.
this is awful.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'd been able to do the harpoon thing no problem on the first attempt, but then I kept bumping into the head, which completely undoes the progress you've done in wrapping the cable around the leg, so I just raged. But yeah, aside from that, it's a really good game. I give it a pass.
I pass it as well.
Could the title of this episode be "Don't Add at Me, Bro"?
Don't at me, bro.
Oh boy.
Be a nice little drop later, I guess. All right,
Nice.
Kevin, what's the second game BCom chose? Oh, and you can get Star Wars Rogue Squadron, by the way, for about $7. It's a nice little cheap game.
Yeah.
All right, go on, Kevin. I'm sorry.
He picked the only game on the N64. Actually, you know what? I take credibility away from this because this game's been remade too many times. Star Fox 64. You know, the only Star Fox game. There's no others. Super Nintendo one doesn't count. The Wii U one definitely doesn't count. It came out again on 3DS. That don't count either. This is the only one. Actually, 3DS is the best way to play it, isn't it? Anyway, Star Fox 64 developed and
Jesus.
published by Nintendo. Released April 27th. Who the fuck? No, it's your date's wrong, JD.
Is it?
1992 was like the original Star Fox.
Oh my God, the N60. I my bad. Yeah.
It came out sometime in the N64's lifetime. It's a
1997. My bad.
Yeah, whatever.
I typed it wrong. I'm sorry.
Well, guess what? Like I said, to be fair, this is the same fucking game over and over again.
Oh, sure.
There's Lilat Wars in Europe and Australia due to some copyright laws. What? I can't read.
Well, it did come out. What was funny was it came out the same day as Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy from the last episode.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Coincidence. Anyway, first game to support the best thing on the N64 is the N64 Rumble Pack. It came bundled with it, and it made that game super immersive. Every time your ship got hit, your controller would shake, and you thought there was an earthquake. And then I realized I lived on the East Coast, and I don't get earthquakes. Super quick, easy, simple, fun game to play. I actually remember an afternoon I beat this game like 4 times in a row. Just playing it over and over and over again.
Oh yeah.
And you know what the problem is? I still haven't played half the levels in this game because I have no idea how to get to the whole left side of the galaxy.
Yeah, you gotta kind of look those up. I know on the first level you go through like a waterfall right away.
Yeah, I've gotten through the first 2 levels and it immediately kicks me back. I'm like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah, you have to fly under those rock arches with those water skiing robots.
Yeah.
I was mind blown when I saw gameplay footage of a submarine, and I was like, where the fuck is there a submarine level in this game?
I actually did manage to get to that level, but then I botched the boss fight.
How do you do it?
On a really stupid reason too, because I paused the game. No. Here's the thing: I had paused the game. I went up to go to the washroom, came back. I accidentally moved the cursor down 1 to quit the game, and then I hit the A button, and I went right back to the menu menu. I'm like, fuck!
Well, luckily the game's really short. The game's really short, so you can get back there pretty quick within like an hour or 2.
Yeah.
Fun fact is it's known as Lilat Wars in Europe and Australia because of course there's fear of German copyright laws, as was the time.
9.
There was a company called Star Vox, which in German would be pronounced Star Fox. So the name was feared to be too close. That's why there was a name change. It doesn't make sense for Australia, but made sense for Europe. And I like how you brought up the Rumble Pack because, yeah, it was the first N64 game to include the support, which was quite mind-blowing to me at the time. I'm not sure the DualShock Rumble was even a thing yet.
No, the DualShock existed because of this. Question, though, why the fuck did it need batteries?
What, the Rumble Pack?
Yeah.
Because 1997?
Plugged into the controller. How is it not getting power?
Why did the Xbox 360 need batteries?
Because that was wireless. That makes sense. I never got that. I was like, you know what the best part is? I hate Rumble nowadays.
Really?
I don't pay attention to it. I'm like, oh, my controller shook.
What HD Rumble, Kevin? Nintendo Switch.
Wow, I can make up things too. Because fucking, what does that mean? Star Fox 64 is just kind of one of those memorable games. It's super fun. It's simple concept, quick to play. The branching paths is a great idea for a short concept of a game. And depending on how you complete the stage is your difficulty spike. It still does increase the difficulty level as you head towards the end game. But unlocking the different paths and seeing the different universe and increasing difficulty, like that is to me how you make difficulty increase so well and unique.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I can probably only think of a handful of games off the top of my head that even come close to doing that. The first one is always going to be Thief 2. Unlocking new levels, AI actually gets smarter kind of deal. With checking things. Star Fox 64 does that. And is this, I couldn't confirm, is this technically a remake of Star Fox on the Super Nintendo?
Yep.
Okay.
I think so.
It is. And that's got to be the biggest issue. Not that this is really relative to the one game, but like, how many times are they going to make this fucking game?
When they finally think of a new idea?
That's Nintendo. No, they won't.
Which is, they somehow remake the Mario formula every gen, so what's Star Fox's excuse?
It'll get the furries too excited, I don't know.
They remake the Zelda formula every now and again. Yeah,
but at least it's a new game. Like, I'm not starting off at, like, Kokiri Woods every time.
Kokiri Forest? Whatever it's called.
Cocaine Woods, got it.
So yeah, Star Fox 64, I quite enjoy it. Easy pass.
Yeah.
Sure. Do a barrel roll.
One thing, big negative in this game, fuck Slippy. Just fuck Slippy.
Common complaint.
He sucks. Actually, that's how you make the game harder. Shoot down your teammates.
Oh no, I've killed Slippy again. Oh, what will I ever do?
Falco backsassed me. Ah, shit, he's dead. Look at that.
You've unlocked mercenary mode.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
gotta join Star Wolf. They seem way cooler.
Did you guys ever play the Wii U Star Fox game?
Why would I do that? I don't hate myself.
I thought it was
Do you want
okay.
to play this game with worse controls?
I thought it was a unique idea to use the Wii U gamepad the way they did. I thought it was fun. I didn't think it was great. That was fun though.
Oh, you want to know what else I learned about this game that I didn't know existed? There's an on-foot multiplayer mode.
Is there?
Yeah, I saw a gameplay video of that. I knew there was like somebody's playing it where they were like on foot with their little like blasters. I was like, where the fuck do you unlock this?
Oh, wild!
Oh,
I'll have to look up I'll have to look up gameplay then later.
Yeah, of this and it's in this game.
Huh? Did you know that, Colin?
No, I know there's like a tank, but on foot?
Yeah, well, like it's in like the multiplayer, but like I swear I've seen it.
Oh, maybe that was kind of the inspiration behind the GameCube Star Fox games that were so bad.
Was Assault bad?
All right.
Oh.
Well, moving on. My first pick. Oh yeah, yeah. Pass. Oh, you can get Star Fox 64 for about $15. Loose.
Or on various eShops, you know.
Sure.
Or no, the one eShop that's left.
Yeah. My first pick is Pilot Wings on the Super Nintendo, developed and published by Nintendo, released in Japan December 1st, 1990, North America August 23rd, 1991, Europe 1992. It was a launch title for the Super Nintendo. I believe it uses its little Mode 7 thing, and it sure as hell needed to use it.
It didn't need to. I feel like it shoved it in your face. Like you really used it.
I think with the 3D models and how everything kind of appears and moves, it needed it. So basically, this is a really simple, straightforward game. I was very curious because Pilot Wings seems to have kind of a reputation of being that lost franchise. I believe there's an N64 Pilot Wings that people are more familiar with.
Yeah, it was the only other game you could get at launch.
Yeah,
it was that and Mario 64.
So, basically, you just complete tasks of each flight device of what's available. You go through rings, and you land on a target or runway. You'll get points, complete these tasks, and you earn a license. There's a biplane, a parachute, jetpack, hang glider, to name a few. It's a simplistic game at heart with fairly tough degree of difficulty after the initial stages, which was quite frustrating. However, there was a nice little password system that you get after each license, so you don't lose your progress. Very nice. Cool. What did everyone think?
I didn't get past the jetpack.
Jetpack is hard to control at first, for sure.
Yeah, that was as far as I got. I don't know. It kind of got to like I get with the neat little mini game collection, but yeah, okay.
Mini game collection. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it was a part. Like I got like one of my friends replayed it a bit, tried to see who got a higher score. Yeah, I don't know. Once I played it a couple times, like I get it. I feel like it was more there to show off what the Super Nintendo could do graphically than like be gameplay wise.
I suppose. Colin?
I liked it. I mean, of the cast, this one's probably the closest to capturing the feel of actually flying planes, because
sure.
I have flown planes. I don't know if you two have.
No.
Not IRL.
I've not.
Well, I have.
I've been in planes.
Yeah. I like this. I managed to get up to the flight combat section with I think it was the helicopter. That section is terrible.
Yeah, the little bicopter. That's that. Yeah. Like I said, the initial stages, once you get past those, you're like, oh, okay, this is a nice, relaxing experience. And then it's not anymore.
Yeah. so funny how the actual combat portion of this game winds up being the shittiest part of the game. Everything else is fine.
It does take
Yeah.
take a little bit of practice to figure out, like, when you release the parachute, you can't just release it over the target. You have to kind of release it away and glide yourself in. I thought the depth perception of this game was the hardest part.
Yeah, I agree.
Super agree.
Still interesting. I'm very curious to what the N64 Pilot Wings is like, but that'll be a ways away.
Yeah, the jetpack section, the controls were really slippery. It was hard to land properly and or stay on a certain path.
Yeah, with the limited amount of fuel. Top of that.
Yeah. Although I like with the hang glider section, you go over like these updrafts in order to stay aloft.
I could never tell if I was actually being, like, hitting the updrafts though. The little smoky poofs that would come up.
Well, I could tell because the map below you suddenly just goes right into the distance, kind of shrinking, and then bounces right back, and then suddenly you've got full blue sky.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay.
Maybe I just had a different version.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I give it a pass for the regular flight sections, but the flight combat can fuck off.
I would agree. That's you, Kevin.
Like I said, it was okay. I'm not going to go back to it anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm with you there. You know what? You know what? I will fail it, actually, because I know I'll never play this game again.
Ow, jeez, calm down.
Yeah. But it's cheap. You can get it for $9. It's at least interesting to try out. Alrighty. My second pick, so our fourth game we're covering, is Space Harrier. Came out on the Sega Master System. Developed in.
How the fuck is this a space combat game?
Oh, hey. It is a flight game because he has a jetpack. All right.
You're being super liberal with the word simulator.
A lot of combat in the flight.
He's got a point.
Okay, developed and published by Sega, released arcade 1985, Master System 86, later ported to some others like the 32X and the TurboGrafx 16.
Oh.
Ooh. I didn't play the 32X because I don't have that thing. But I do have the Sega Master System. So if you couldn't tell, you're a dude with a jetpack shooting shit and spaceships and whatnot in front of him. This is a good example of that 3D game on a 2D system, and you're on a rail, much like in Star Fox on the Super Nintendo, if you remember that. And due to the time and capabilities, there was a lot of scaling going on with what the Master System was putting out. So, like, everything's bigger, and it kind of fools you into everything's small, and then it fools you by the scaling coming up close, and everything gets bigger. But everything on the sides are blank to kind of give it that visual foolage, you know. Game was super fast, but the primary issue I had was the hit and collision detection. It just seems totally off because the scaling just wasn't as good for the time.
Yeah.
Or I guess it was as good as it could be for the time. So, what did you think, Kevin? Did you like Space Harrier?
It's not a bad game, I'm just not very good at it. Which is the easiest way to describe it. I'm really fucking bad at this game. But it's fun. It's, if you want to pop in, like, I guess what would equate to a quarter's worth on your. I played it on 3DS. Let's put it this way.
Oh, that's fine.
And it's, yeah, but like, I don't know. I guess playing on 3DS in little bursts, it kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's just too fast. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's not the best way to play it. But I couldn't stay alive longer than like a minute.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not good at it.
I wonder if the analog stick has a lot to do with that, because then you're moving around too fast. Because the D-pad, you don't move. I have tried this out on the 3DS before, and I know exactly what you're talking about. The analog instead of the use of a D-pad.
Yeah, I had the same issue with Afterburner on 3DS.
Yeah, we'll get there. Colin, how about yourself?
It's all right. I actually have a bit of a funny story dealing with this game.
Okay, go on.
My dad, when I was a kid, well, he still does. He always likes to go to yard sales, and which is where he would always find Commodore 64 discs, among other things.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, he came home with a copy of Space Harrier for the Master System. I remember both of us being absolutely clueless as to how to play the game, since not only did we not have a Master System in the house, neither of us had even heard of this Master System to begin with.
This wizardry.
So we
A
never
testament to Sega's marketing.
Yeah, like you said, JD, there's a lot going on screen at any given time. Mostly, particularly everything that's coming at the character, and oftentimes you can see the square frames that each individual obstacle / enemy / part of the enemy has. Keeps flashing in and out. Kind of took me out of it. I can see how it might turn out that way. It's a port of an arcade game on an older system. And I was having heavy Sin and Punishment flashbacks. I can tell this game had a big influence on the hack game.
Yeah, this game influenced a lot of the rail shooter genre.
Yeah, for
in
sure.
general. So it was this and Star Fox, I would say, would be the innovators. So I thought this game. Go on, Colin.
Get ready for a sore wrist, because you'll be hammering the shoot button a lot.
Sure, yeah. You can actually get a turbo controller, and that's vastly improved.
Yeah, I guess I give it a pass.
Yeah, each level is massively created. I really like the different enemies that comes across each stage. It makes everything seem unique to each other, and different colors as well. And they're very vibrant. A lot of greens, oranges kind of going on. So that's a big plus in my book. And there's 18 total levels. I only got to about 6. So it's I only got a third way through the game. But I did find out later that you can go to the sound menu, and it unlocks the level select cheat, just like in Sonic 2. So I will be hitting that up later, because I want to beat Space Harrier. It's going to be one of my missions in 2019.
And it'll just say game over again.
Oh god, I would lose my shit. There's also a Game Gear port. Never played that one. I imagine it's not very good.
How do you feel about that NES port, though?
I haven't played it.
Don't.
Okay, good.
It's not good.
I imagine the NES just wouldn't be able to handle it at all.
Let me tell you, do you like things running at like 10 frames an hour?
There you go. Yeah, that's yeah. Because what was that 3D World Runner? That does the scaling effect, but there's like nothing on screen. So with a game with so much shit coming at you at all times in Space Harrier, that's why I can't imagine it being any good on the NES.
I can't wait till we get to Afterburner, and I can ask you about the or then.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, we're on to Colin's picks now. Oh, Space Harrier gets an easy pass from me.
Oh yeah.
And you can get it for about $8 on the Master System, $35 on the other two. But I would say the Master System's good.
Alrighty.
Okay, Colin.
Your
two pick.
My first pick is Ace Combat 4: Shattered Skies, PS2. Developed and published by Namco and released in 2001 to Japan and North America, and the EU in 2002.
Cool.
Now, I chose this particular installment in the series since I already have a copy of Ace Combat 5 laying around, but it did qualify as retro so I picked the next best thing. So I do kind of wish I'd chosen the first game in the series, but oh well. Now,
it's okay. I would say Shattered Skies, the fourth Ace Combat, is the most known.
Oh yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, I think it got it. It's what got it really popular.
Which is weird to say. Like, usually the first or second game is what makes a game super popular, not the fourth.
Gotta keep trying, man.
Yeah. Plot's a bit complicated. The premise is that a big honking meteor is headed for an alternate universe version of Earth called Strange Reel, and splits into
Strange.
several fragments. Yeah, splits into several fragments along the way, and one of the nations of the world, called Usea, manages to build an array of cannons called Stonehenge to destroy the majority. But the remainder still wind up wrecking the world's ship regardless. And then
So it worked out.
in the midst of this chaos, the nation called Urusea, much like Nazi Germany, was economically devastated, so they decided to invade Usea and take control of Stonehenge.
So you have Usea and Urusea.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not confusing at all.
And in response, the Independent States Allied Forces, ISAF for short, is formed to combat and depose Urusea, and you fly as one of the pilots for ISAF. Perhaps not so strangely, I'm having flashbacks to Valkyria Chronicles. It reminds me of a quote from Yahtzee. Sorry, did I say Adolf Hitler? I meant Gadolf Schmittler, Chancellor of Germany. Somehow hearing Germany always makes me laugh.
Yeah. I did like the interesting kind of still art style of the cutscenes to tell you the story. The story I didn't really... The story setting and characters I didn't really care about, but I found the art very interesting. How they approach that.
Make me not care about a game's story immediately, still imagery with text.
I mean, I liked it. I just didn't care about, like, as soon as they started with this alternate Earth and then having all these plot dump names, I was like, all right, you lost me already. Can I just be in a plane and shoot shit already?
No, plot.
Yeah, this one's definitely one of the more realistic games of the cast. But then again, I'm playing on normal difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
It's also kind of easy, at least on the first couple levels, but then I think I got to like level 5 or 6, and that's when it started to ramp up, and when I had to go multiple times at it.
Right.
And most of the things you do in combat, aside from flying loop-the-loops and shit, is
barrel rolls.
Yeah, and lock-on missiles or fire a machine gun. Pretty much it. That's nothing too fancy.
I know people really get into the Ace Combat games. They get the specialized controllers for it to really make it more of a simulator than the arcade combat style that I played it as.
Yeah, I'd say that's the real appeal of the game, is the flight maneuvers, is like the barrel rolls, loop-the-loops, banking turns, strafing runs. You get the...
Yeah. I really felt like the way the game presented itself, it was very much like Armored Core, where you have your system, you have your various missions, you go through them all, and you unlock new planes to attack the later missions, and then you have your assortment of weapons. You can customize your loadout accordingly. Very Armored Core. So that was really nice. And then what the other, besides the still art kind of cutscene style to it all, when you get into the game itself, it has this interesting kind of 3D rotoscope look to it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Very, very unique to the Ace Combat series.
Yeah, I like that.
What did you think about the way the game like looked overall, Kevin?
Well, like you said in the pre-show, I really didn't get to try this one. I went looking for it around my retro store.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't find it. Yeah, so I'm listening to you guys on this one.
Alrighty, fair enough.
I tried. I promise.
Yeah. Well, it's super cheap. You could have gotten it on eBay for about $4.
Well, I went to the retro store.
This also, coincidentally enough, had 18 missions to complete. So just like Space Harrier. I don't know if that's how many missions did Star Fox have? Was that 18?
If you want to count them all, I don't know. It sounds right.
Sounds right, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like
3, 6, 9, 12, or was it 15 or 16? Something like that.
3, 6, 9, damn, she's fine.
Anyways, sound effects in this game is just so on point. I love it.
Yeah, it's really good. I like the jet exhaust sound from the military jets.
This is probably regarded as Namco's best like game series ever. The most well-known Ace Combat, as I said earlier.
Pac-Man.
Well, no, it's among the best. One of Namco's best. I did say that.
I don't know.
It's not. I don't think it's up for debate. I mean, they're on fucking Ace Combat 7 now, and PSVR is coming out this month.
They did miss Pac-Man.
What great games have Namco made? Well, they made Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man World.
I was just gonna say
a plane game.
Pac-Man 2: The New Adventures.
Oh God. Well, to be fair, this game had the benefit of being the most recent on the list by far, and the most 3D of them all.
Yeah.
It had a huge advantage. Yeah, it had a huge advantage over the others. But regardless, it felt good to be in a plane and shoot and blow up shit. So
Yeah.
I think that's the point at the end of the day.
Good job.
Pass.
Pass for sure.
NA.
NA. All right, Colin, what's our last one here?
The last one is Afterburner on Sega Master System and Genesis and a few others.
Mm-hmm. We're pretty Sega heavy today.
Yeah.
It's also an NES.
Developed by Sega AM2 and published by Sega in 1987. Originally released as an arcade game, but later adapted to all the consoles I named.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, yeah, I played the Master System version of this, but then I also played Afterburner 2 on the Genesis for comparison, because it's basically just a remake of the original Afterburner.
Right.
And it really is an improvement over the Master System version.
A vast improvement.
Yeah. But both versions play virtually the same, just with graphical difference. I remember us playing the arcade version at the Retro Game Expo earlier this year. This is staggering.
Yeah, how much faster the arcade version is, and you have the that giant steering wheel.
that shakes constantly.
Yeah.
It's a good workout, the arcade version.
So they got the idea for that shake weight, you know?
Oh boy.
The Afterburner arcade system, the original shake weight. It is not sexual at all. You're a D-pad, shut up.
You're a D-pad.
You're a joystick.
Ooh.
I'm not a joystick. I'm just gonna shake weight my Afterburner for my joystick.
Oh boy, I need new pants.
Do you need help taking them off, Colin? Kevin?
Yeah, I like when you confuse me.
Say my wrong name.
Do you want me to be him? Is that what you want?
You never look.
You never. Oh no.
You can be my wingman anytime.
Where have we gone?
Pick
I'm
Top
flattered,
Gun.
but no thanks. I fly solo, thank you very much.
Why didn't we pick Top Gun?
No, we didn't want to hurt ourselves that much. Jeez.
Fine, play Top Gun on GameCube. I don't give a fuck.
Oh boy. Anyway, yeah, this one's pretty fun. Both the Master System version and the Genesis version do a decent job replicating the fast, frenetic feel of the arcade version, with the crazy banks, turns, and barrel rolls. In fact, there are a number of similarities to how this and Space Harrier play, what with both of them being rail shooters where you just move your character / aircraft around the screen to avoid enemy fire while shooting. Although I feel this pulls it off more effectively because it feels more like a high-octane thrill ride.
Oh, interesting. So, well, Afterburner was the very first game I got from my Master System when I was living in Canada. So, this is your first go at the game. The speed is going to be a major issue. And I thought it was fascinating because Space Harrier came out like a year before this one. Developed and published by the same company, right? So I want to know what happened with Afterburner or the people developing it to Space Harrier, because I thought the scaling was way better in Space Harrier, and there was so much more stuff happening on the screen, and I can't imagine the diagonal movements, the left and right movements when the plane goes diagonal, being much different than in Space Harrier, the character going up and down on the ground, right? But I guess because of the scaling issue with everything coming at you, like forward-wise, that when you maneuver the plane left and right, it starts to have this major like motion jerk issue, because it's now trying to turn something one way while the screen is coming at you another. So I think that's where the clash of technology came, and that's why the Sega Genesis was able to handle Afterburner while the Master System just wasn't quite able to do it. So that motion issue really, you know, it hasn't made the game age well at all in that sense. And it causes a lot of people to get sick, even as I was able to like there's funny YouTube videos you can look up of people playing Afterburner on the Master System and getting sick.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, like old VHS tapes people have thrown up there. I was looking at a few of them, like, oh, interesting. Because when I first got the Master System, I thought Afterburner was a bit fast. You know, I thought it was a bit too fast because of the barrel rolls and the whole screen flipping. And I was like, whoa, okay, I can't really keep track of where I am or where I'm shooting. So the depth perception was really tough to adjust to, but it wasn't like too much of a big deal. But then I went back and played it for the podcast, and after playing things like Space Harrier and even Pilot Wings on the SNES, it's like, wow, this is not as good as I remember. This is quite it's quite a rough go, and it's hard as shit too. So, game's hard.
Yeah. Plus limited ammo. What the hell?
Yeah, very dumb idea. I hated that. So
I couldn't even tell you there was limited ammo because I died so much.
yeah, you die a lot. I think I got to level 3, and that was the furthest I got. Game's tough.
So, not to cut you off, but this was another one I played on 3DS because they re-released it there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the fuck kills me in that game. Things are happening. I don't know if that's a port of the arcade, by the way, or if it's a Genesis port. But like, I just don't understand what the fuck I'm dying from.
Well, that's because of that depth perception issue. You see a bullet, or you don't see it because the sprite of the plane is too damn big.
Right.
And then just something hits you out of nowhere. There's a lot of issues with Afterburner, despite it being such a good arcade game, and that's why a lot of people just point you in the direction of Afterburner 2 on the Genesis, because it fixes all of these issues, and then you just realize, wow, Afterburner's cool, like it should be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The game is super cheap, though, for the Master System. It's $8. You can get the 32X one that really scales it up. I've played that at a friend's place before. You can get that for about $35 if you have a 32X. Can't imagine why you would, unless you're a hardcore collector, but anyways. I'm actually going to fail Afterburner.
Yeah. I think it's visually, like, I don't know, it hits you like visually, and you're like, "Whoa, this is cool," but like playing, I'm like, I feel like I didn't really do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm somewhere between a pass and a fail. Say. They'll just err on the side of caution. I'll give the Master System a fail, but the Genesis version gets a pass.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. That's a good take. Okay, we have some fan comments, and then we'll pick our favorite and least favorite of the cast first.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up. I gotta get to bed.
Yeah. Kevin, why don't you read the first comment we have here?
Scrolling. Fucking keypad. Oh, fuck, I don't know where my mouse is. Look what you've done. Scroll. Wait, up is down and down is up on this. Fan comment. Gino says, "Oh my God, Pilot Wings. That was my first ever experience of playing a SNES at an electrical store. What the fuck are you playing it at? What electrical store? Circuit City?
Gilo is from the UK.
Circuito Citio?
Don't think that's how it works.
That's Spain's in there, right?
Yeah. The Gilo is a member of the Retro Twitch community.
Oh, hello, Gilo.
Yeah. Colin, why don't you read the next comment?
Next comment is from Retro Renegade 3. That is Retro Renegade, but with the E spelled as a 3.
Right.
Anyway.
Oh, he's edgy.
Says Star Fox 64, aka Lilat Wars. I just thought the multiplayer was a little empty. They could have added a bit more.
There's that multiplayer comment again.
Agree.
Yeah. All right, and then BCom, our chooser of the theme and of 2 games, he put in his 2 words for the 2 games he chose. And that was Star Wars Rogue Squadron for the N64 is notable as the first Star Wars flight sim on console that really impressed and reached the masses. Following in the footsteps of games like X-Wing and TIE Fighter, or TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
It's all in caps, so it threw me off.
What are you saying?
It offered a 3D flight combat sim with a heavy narrative focus. It gave you a ton of freedom to fly different Star Wars aircraft, and incentivized you to replay to achieve bonus goals, unlock bonus ships, and discover other hidden secrets inside each mission.
Ooh.
I think he likes Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
That was more than 2 words.
Yeah. Kevin, why don't you read his Star Fox 64 comment?
Star Fox 64 was one of the first 3D polygonal graphics games on the console that really showed off the potential of the graphical style. Offering the option to take branching paths through the mission structure allowed for tons of replayability as players figured out their favorite path through the final boss, discovering hidden shortcuts and routes along the way. I can still hear the charismatic voices of your co-pilots, except Slippy. He forgot to put that in there.
No, he did.
No,
he did.
Yeah, well, just no, don't worry about that. Like I played the game yesterday, as well as the final boss's infamous line, "You will never defeat Andros." Well, he's in for a shock. I think this speaks well to the characterization and voice acting present in such an early 3D title.
Well spoken.
Neat.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for your fan comments. I leave a pinned tweet a day or 2 before we record each podcast, and you can retweet, and you can get a shout out on the cast. But you can also throw something in on the comments and get your comments read on the cast as well. And speaking of which, little shout outs here. We have Kevin at Kevin Wims, Tape Loader, Thievery8, Gkeeper30. He's a cool dude. And Costa, as per the usual, he's the hardcore fan. Thank you everybody for retweeting and liking our stuff. Good stuff. So
my stuff.
If you want to join a retro gaming community or a retro community in general that's really cool, consider joining Retro Twitch and their Discord. Easy to hit up to via twitter.com/Gilo_UK for a link. Yeah. So, cool. least and favorite game on the cast. I'll just go first right fast. And my favorite is Space Harrier. My least favorite would have to be Pilot Wings. So I pulled a 1v1 on myself without even knowing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Kevin?
Yeah.
Favorite, Star Fox. It's just a good. Least favorite, I'm torn between. I don't want to say Afterburner because I feel like maybe if I practice that game, I'll get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably go with Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
As your least?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Pilot Wings was okay. It gets the point, but it wasn't bad.
And Colin, last but not least.
I think favorite is Star Fox 64, although Ace Combat 4 is a close second.
Fair enough.
And least favorite, I think the Master System version of Afterburner.
Yeah, I was torn between that and Pilot Wings, but at least I go back and play Afterburner. I just don't see myself ever playing Pilot Wings ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. out of here pretty quick tonight. But this was episode 35 of the Red Leaf Retrocast, Flight Combat Simulation. Join us again, and don't forget to head over to iTunes and Stitcher, leave us a nice little review, and you'll be entered into any ongoing contests we have, like now, where you can enter and have a chance to win some wrestling pops. So, Chipper Worldwide, and join us in the next episode. Thank you, everybody.
Bye now.
Bleh.
Alrighty.
Neat.
Cool.
What was that, about an hour 50?
Yep, sure was.
Yeah, hour 56, I'd say.
Someone would show up on time, we would have made it before 9.
Damn.
Well, excuse me for having a life. And a coworker who forgets that he's supposed to pick my fucking shift.
Aw, boo.
Yeah, I was really pissed last night. I mean, we had talked about it multiple times beforehand, and he still forgot.
Boo.
All right, I'm exporting. I need to get to bed.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin, for staying up 13 minutes longer than you intended.
Kill me now.
Yeah, just throw it in your Google document. Just text me when you do at some point tomorrow.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Bye now.
Later.
Bye.
I really need to go to the restroom as well, and I'm scheduled to be on another podcast, so I gotta go as well.
Yeah. FYI, I would like to be on the Azumanga Daioh cast this coming Saturday.
Negative.